Do you want early access? Do you want uncut reactions? If so, then check out our Patreon. Link in the description down below. Coven of the Damned. Yeah, there's a fly in here.
Sounds metal.
It's annoying the shit out of me. I keep hearing it just like... just running into the lights. So, yeah, Coven of the Damned does sound pretty fucking metal. Which, I wonder what kind of metal music Tartakovsky listens to.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe he likes Rammstein? I don't know. I mean, I'd like to do an interview with Tartakovsky.
If he listens to metal at all.
I'd love to do an interview with Tartakovsky to ask him what kind of metal music he's into. Because, shit, given some of the stuff I've seen in this series, he's got some questions to answer. I'm just like, where did these visuals come from? Like, and also him having Tyler Bates as like the main music provider for this is just the shit. So, Coven of the Damned, I have no idea what the hell's going on here, but from the last episode, you know, we saw the level of dedication that Spear had to make sure that Fang was okay. He literally dragged her across like such a huge way and fought off all these like hyenas and bugs and shit like that. Just being an absolute fucking champ. And well, I'm wondering what kind of hell they're gonna run into in this one. So I guess without further ado, let's see what they got. This is Coven of the Damned, Gennady Tartakovsky's Primal. Here we go. Magneto, the DJ. Could you imagine him doing that? Just like... That'd be the shit. Oh, shit. Oh, I guess. Don't know what the hell that... He just set his spear up against her.
Oh, let's stay the heck away from that.
Shit. They're burning him. The fuck?
Pretty creepy.
You ain't kidding.
Didn't expect to see actual magical stuff in this. Oh, damn!
Jesus!
Sucked all his life force out, I guess.
That's fucking wicked.
The look on his face.
The hell am I looking at right now? This shit ain't right, man. Wait, what? Uh-oh. I think that's a sign to run.
This shit's pretty terrifying, actually.
You ain't kidding. It's actually like fucking...
A more horror episode than the zombie dinosaur episode.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
No.
That's not
not
good.
good.
Nope.
Shit.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. She's fighting it. What? Oh. Her most precious memories.
Oh.
Hunt on their own. Aw. She gonna look at him too?
Yep. She's the only one without horns, I noticed, too.
Yeah, I wonder what that is. What's up with that? I wonder if she's like a... Oh, this is... She's giving birth to the second child.
Some Lion King shit.
It is, kind of, except that has been shown to... I think she's seeing what they've both been through, and now she understands their connection.
She's probably like, how did this man control a dinosaur without magic?
Wonder what...
Oh.
she had horns. Oh, no.
Damn.
Shit. I have to think after everything, she's... It's a warm crowd. Ooh. Oh, shit. Turned into a friggin' great wolf. Ooh.
Damn.
Don't let her sacrifice go to waste. Get out of there. You see, when people say, "Oh, you know, you can't tell a compelling story, that that'll invest people that quick. These asshats at like top of the production food chain and these big production houses. These think tanks and all that. It's like, oh, you can't establish a character and emotions for them and make people feel for them in such a short amount of time. Bullshit. That was fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And people who say that that's not possible, I wager you this: anyone out there who says that that it's impossible, it's like, oh, you can't do that, you can't feel something for this character after only knowing them for one episode, shortest like 20 minutes, who could do that? Apparently, fucking Gennady Tartakovsky and his team at that produced Primal can.
Not to mention doing it without dialogue.
That's another thing, man. Visual storytelling. Show, don't tell. People don't do that anymore. Mm-hmm. That's again, I hate harping on and on about it, but
I
the
see
Last
why this
Jedi,
show has got such good praises and stuff because of that.
Again, I keep harping on and on about The Last Jedi, but when you visually beautiful, but when you have to explain it to people instead of letting people figure it out for themselves, you are insulting yourself as a filmmaker by insulting your fandom and insulting. Oh God!
It's like walking into the movie theater and then instead of having the screen actually light up for you, they're like, here, insert this into your arm, and it's like, the fuck is this? It's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna IV drip the story into your bloodstream now. You don't have to put forth any effort to actually experience this film at all.
You're treating you're treating your people who are watching your film like a bunch of like invalids with their mouths wide open, ready to receive a spoonful. Instead, these are people who
treating
can actually use their
your
fucking
audience
brain.
like babies, essentially.
Yeah, when you treat your audience like babies, they're not going to respect your stuff in the long run. But when you do stuff like this, when you actually this character,
which I see the strategy to this, how they did that was basically they built these two characters that we've obviously grown to love at this point, and they made us care about the new character quickly by showing us, hey, this character is exactly like our two main characters, pretty much. They're basically exactly alike,
Yeah, they've experienced loss, just like Vang and just like Spear. And
not to mention drawing her daughter as the cutest little cartoon kid ever.
That's another thing. Well, you see, effectiveness.
She's fucking adorable looking.
She was. She honestly is a precious little bean, and honestly, you'd want to protect her. But momentary lapses in there's a friend that I have. I'll just say he's a family member who, after moving up to Chicago, Illinois, outskirts of Chicago, got married, had 2 kids. He had a momentary lapse in his judgment, and he lost track of where his eldest son was. His eldest son was about 6 years old at the time. Eldest son wandered into the road, and he got hit by a car, and it didn't end up well. The thing is, loss is such a big thing with people, and processing that, and being able to tell, and having the ability to relate with others about that. I mean, keep in mind, I've had a blessed life. I'm not going to pretend like I've had the worst life, but I've had instances where I've had my mental strength tested, and to be able to talk with people about that and be able to experience shows and stuff like this that handle it very well. They don't, because see, I heard a lot of people talking about this early on before we watched it, like this was just like a glorified killing floor for Gennady Tartakovsky to just like display gore and like horror and all this and all that.
That sounds like somebody who doesn't know how to use their fucking brain.
Exactly.
This is a fucking horribly tragic story of two very unlikely friends in like an extremely brutal world.
Well,
like, and that's the whole thing, is like both of their horribly tragic stories were initially just shock factor to us when we first saw them. We're just like, holy fuck, what the actual fuck, you know? Like, they just offed like an entire family, kids included, and like baby like dinosaurs and stuff, like in the first part, you know?
Yeah,
it's like,
first episode.
And it feels like shock factor, but they gave it a very good reason, and that's because that's the basis for the story. Is that's the only reason that like this caveman was able to form a friendship with a dinosaur, basically, is because they backed each other up in the fight. They both lost equally, and they could feel each other's pain, and they leaned on each other to have a reason to keep going.
And now they have a cohesive friendship that is basically benefiting them both, and they're able to survive in this savage world. I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, the world that they are in is not friendly. It's not. That's just like much like the real world.
Exactly the opposite of friendly, pretty much.
Yeah, is anything but friendly.
It's like you've seen like maybe like one or two things in this world so far that like weren't like thinking about eating them or killing them, you know? Like,
yeah, I mean,
you got like caveman guy up on the rock that's just like, yeah, go big caveman. And then you got like basically like the witch that was just like, you know, at least
had a heart.
You know, had a heart, and like decided that it wasn't worth killing the people that, like, you know, the dude and the dinosaur that basically experienced the same thing that she did. So.
Yeah.
And even at first, she was still going to be like all on board, you know, like don't really care about them at all. Like, so.
She was pretty much just like, why should I care? And just like kept drawing the runes and everything. But then I think she realized, you know, there's got to be more to it than just this, more than just sacrificing others for our own benefit. Because I think,
dude, like the only other like really cool like caveman piece of media, like I said, I've experienced like recently, Far Cry Primal. Mm-hmm. It's just funny that they both have Primal in the name, but
yeah, like
Far Cry Primal is brutal as fuck too. Like it's got a lot of supernatural shit and stuff in it. Obviously, it's Far Cry, but like,
yeah.
It feels like it would be a kind of semi-accurate representation as to what it would be like to live in a tribe with like all these big prehistoric beasts and stuff, you know, walking around. There's not dinosaurs in it.
No.
It's got cavemen, saber-toothed tigers, you know, the doles, like the dogs from that previous episode, and just crocodiles, like any number of like wild things that are out to eat you, not to mention like the other cavemen tribes that are like, fuck you, we don't care about anybody but our own tribe, you know. And we'll like, honestly, you guys are tasty. Like, we'll eat you like Yummy. If you give us the chance. So you have a lot of brutality in that game too, just and it's that as a product of the environment, you know. It's everyone out to survive, and when you're in just a situation where everything is pure survival, it's everybody versus everybody pretty much, so it's gonna be brutal. And
that's one thing I think people nowadays just don't get, like especially people who are, you know, we're pampered as a species, I think, you know, in terms of what we've experienced. I mean, I was grateful to grow up in the area that I did and like have a bit of real world experience, but I'll say this much, like, if you were to hand a hatchet to someone and say, hey, like, anyone out there is like, hey, go chop down a tree, we gotta make a fire tonight. It's like, I guarantee you most of them would more than likely, like, cut themselves on accident with that fucking hatchet.
I feel like you have, like, three different kinds of people. You have the ones that are just like, alright, and they go do it.
Yeah.
You have the ones that are like, alright, and they go figure it out. And you have the ones that are like, I don't
know if I can. I don't know if I can.
And then they go try when they get cold enough later on. And they're like, this sucks. And they fucking cut their own ankle off. Oh, this really sucks.
God.
There's too many of those kind of people, like when we're not living in a survival world anymore, you know. Like,
well, it's just like
too many people just sit down and decide that they're gonna let everybody else take care of them and not learn to take care of themselves at all.
Well, it's just like Chris Porter said, you know, Darwinism isn't effective because
Chris Porter has all kinds of things to say about that kind of topic. Actually,
yeah, he's like, see, Darwinism isn't really working because the stupid people have protection.
That's not Chris Porter. That's me.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
That's you, yeah. But Chris Porter...
I know I quote him a lot, but that one actually was mine.
Oh, that was you? Okay.
So Darwinism is subverted by the fact that we have, like, medical things to subvert Darwinism now. Like, because 100 years ago, if Jebediah went out and was like, hey, cool, rattlesnake, and, like, fucking played with it, he's dead.
Yeah.
Like, but right now, if Jethro goes out in his backyard and is like, hey, cool, a rattlesnake, fucking plays with it, he can get rushed to the emergency room and get a shot of antivenom and still be alive tomorrow. That's not Darwinism in effect. That's like subverting Darwinism.
It is.
Hey, cool, electric fence. Like, oh, shit.
It's like, he's not going to make it.
Gets taken to the hospital and then he's still alive tomorrow.
They defibrillate him and bring him back, and he's like, man, last thing I remember is grabbing that fence. What happened? It's like, you died, man. It's like, well, shit. All right. Got any beer? It's like fucking hell. But
it's just all kinds of like stuff. I feel like it's not as bad as like I'm not. I don't know.
It's okay.
Like, I'm not trying to make it out like that's what's wrong with the world or anything, like, but I feel like it definitely has played an effect in, like, the amount of people that are still able to survive despite being dumb as a fucking brick. You know what I mean?
No, I get you 100%. I 100% get exactly what you're saying.
Not to mention just the whole, like, society allows that. Society subverts Darwinism because it allows both compassion, like, you know, people... are like, oh, you're dumb as a brick, bless your heart, well, let me help you, you know, like, sew your finger back on since I had all my medical training, honey, like, you know. Yeah. Then you got, like, fucking, it's like, oh, shit, you don't know how to hunt? Like, oh, it's cool, honey, like, I'll feed you, like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm using Southern compassion as, like, it's not necessarily Southern, it's society in general,
yeah,
you know.
Society
looks out for each other so that those who are too dumb to take care of themselves will be still taken care of.
Which is all right. Which
is technically not as nature intended, but I mean, whatever. Like,
well, again, dude, the whole thing about, you know, environment.
I mean, honestly, I'm talking a lot of shit, and I don't know if I would actually like survive if we were still not, you know, having society look out for each other like they do, like, and have. I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sure, like, genetically, I actually would be dead because I do need the medical industry as it is to survive because of my asthma and stuff. So, you know.
Yeah.
Not to mention my bad eyesight. Like, if we didn't have people to make me little pieces of glass that actually make it so I could see shit, I'd be eaten by a predator. So, you know.
Well, there's that, but also at the same time,
and I probably wouldn't be able to see well enough to go hunt. So.
Well, no, they'd probably make you like a gatherer, like you'd gather firewood, shit like that. You wouldn't have to go as far away. Me, on the other hand, they would make me basically like a pack mule plus a decoy for like all the animals to like chase after. And
I feel like I would be good as like the fishing person.
That would be nice.
Because I'm the kind of person that can just like sit there, like, you know, with the spear, like, and just. Yeah, and then when one eventually comes along.
Yeah.
So I'd be down for that. It wouldn't take that good of eyesight as long as you're sitting in shallow, clear water, you know, like.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. If society fell apart, maybe I'd be like a hunter. I've got the weapons for it. I've got guns and all that. But
if society falls apart, my first priority is going to be to become a raider of asthma medicine. Like,
oh yeah.
So well, I'm going to get as much of this as I can so I can survive as long as I can, because I know eventually I'm going to have a problem where I'm going to not be able to breathe anymore, and that's going to be it for me, basically.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to end
I don't know, maybe if it breaks down, I can grab enough to survive for long enough to get in shape enough that it's not so bad that I can keep surviving, because my asthma did go away when I started getting into shape, like, for, like, essentially high school, like the end of high school. Mm-hmm. Until like in college when I started smoking, and the smoking brought it back. So, I mean, if I can quit smoking and get back in shape, I could potentially subvert it to the point where I wouldn't have to worry about having to have asthma inhalers all the time. But
yeah,
have to do both of those things. And both of those things are hard. So
you ain't kidding.
We'll see. Hopefully, eventually I can do that.
Fingers crossed. But I think that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. This was the Coven of the Damned and Gennady Tartakovsky's Primal. This was episode 8. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Next time, episode 9, and be almost done with this series, at least for the first season, that is. And there is going to be a season 2, so I guess we can look forward to that whenever that happens. But for right now, I thank you all for tuning in. And until then, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
We'll see you then. Peace out.